Welcome again to Wednesday Web Chat. This is Carl Lewis, your host from Vision33. I have placed 3 files into the chat section about Vision33 portals. So if you want some more information today, you can go to the chat and download those anytime during the presentation today. Before we begin talking about Vision33 portals, and by the way, this is just an introduction to the portals. Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you have one, maybe you're looking at another one, or you've never heard of them. Whichever part, really, it's just kind of a really high level kind of overview of the portals. And in a couple of weeks, well, 4 weeks roughly, we're going to have another Wednesday web chat about portals with my good friend Sarah Humphreys, and she'll have a new name by then because she's off getting married. And so she's going to join me and kind of go over a little more in depth about at least one of the portals at that time. So stay tuned if you didn't get enough information today. Before we begin, just some announcements like always. As you probably know, there is a book published about SAP Business One. It is the SAP Business One Business User Guide published by SAP Press. People ask, why do you keep telling us about this? Because every now and then I do a customer interview for somebody that has gone live within the last 6 months or 8 months on SAP Business One. And it's amazing to me how many times they say, I wish there was better material available. And none of my teammates told them about the book that I wrote about SAP Business One. So there is a really good resource, at least I think it is. And I encourage you to grab one. It's available in, hardback format, or it's available in PDF format. You say, what's the difference? Well, the PDF format, all the illustrations and screen shots and all of that, they're in color. So it's a little different to read. The hardback book is great, and I love having published a book, believe me, but everything's black and white. So you can also buy a bundle and get one of each, for a very good price. So they're available from Amazon and from SAP Press. You have a little bit greater options on SAP Press than you do at Amazon, but Amazon's fast, that is for sure. And it's all about, from version 10. So it's updated from the original, which was published over 6 years ago now, but this one's not that old. And all the new HANA stuff is there, all the new updated functions. And it's 700 pages, which is no more pages than a previous one, but it's in a bigger format. So it's got more stuff in it, which makes it even more valuable. Likewise, if you're looking for general information about SAP Business One, Vision33, our total care department, does have the Customer Resource Center, and they do their best to put all of the updated information and the stuff from the past. So all kinds of videos, all kinds of how-to documents, PDFs, white papers, all about SAP Business One are in this Customer Resource Center. You have to go there and register, and then you get access to the whole thing. And when it comes to self-help, it's one of the best resources available. You always have access, of course, to SAP sites. This one is in addition to all of that stuff. And a part of it is access to our Crystal Reports training series. And if you're interested in learning how to do your own Crystal Reports, and again, from my conversations with customers, many people are, this is a great place to go and learn some of the basics about how to edit and create your own Crystal Reports. It's free training, by the way. You can do it on your own schedule. There's about 8, video lessons, and you can follow through and do the lessons on your own also. And as always, I try to keep you updated about what's the current version of SAP Business One. Currently, the recommended version from our Total Care group is version 10, Hotfix 1, and Feature Pack 2202. We had preliminarily released 2208. We recalled it because we found some problems. Now, I think it's 2305 has been released by SAP, but it hasn't as of yet gone through the full validation by our Total Care group. And so look for an announcement in the next few weeks ahead about the availability of 2305. And that is a good one and has some really nice additions in it. And the product just keeps getting better and better. If you do plan to upgrade to version 10, we always want you to check, with Total Care and potentially with your consulting team and people that you're in touch with at Vision33 who know your system, to be sure that you don't run into any problems, and at least that you know the score before you start the upgrade process. And I hope you will join me. Every other week, there's a new publication of the Connected Enterprise podcast that I host. I'm interviewing people from all over the business world about all kinds of topics that people in business care about and want to stay informed about. And really, it focuses on how you as a business stay connected to employees, to vendors, and to customers. And there's lots of information out there about that, as you can imagine. And these guests are quite knowledgeable, and they're interesting and fun interviews. It's published just about every place you can imagine, and even available on iTunes in a video format. So we hope you will do that with us sometime soon. So today, I wanted to talk with you a little bit about portals for SAP Business One. These are our Vision 33 branded, created, interactive self-service hubs for customers and employees. It's all about sharing information and ideas, because doing so develops trust, it empowers people to help themselves, and it unites teams towards common goals because you give them access to information in an easy, intuitive fashion. So these are, I'm calling this at a glance, because in our 30-minute sessions, we can't get too deep. We can always show you more and get more intense, with personalized demonstrations. So my goal today is to just pique your interest and see if it's something that might work for your organization. What are we going to talk about today in brief? Well, we're going to talk about why portals. What's the benefit? We're going to look at customer portal benefits, employee portal benefits, and we'll look at an example of how to place an order in these portals, right? A sales order, basically, in both the customer portal and the employee portal. They're similar, but different. And there's many more things you can do in each one of these portals. But these give us some quick little demonstrations of one of the features that I think is the most powerful, in that you can create orders without having to be in the office and without having to use, the client and having a full kind of connection to the whole system, just with an internet address. And you can be right there, have access to information, items, pricing, place an order, get it to your customer, all of those things really quickly. And as I said, there are 3 files in the chat for you to take a look at. There's a brochure about the customer portal, the employee portal, and then kind of portals at a glance, they call it. So things that you might want to have at your disposal. So why portals? Well, writing it up like this: Vision 33's customer and employee portal solutions empower companies to create self-service. That's important. This means that when a customer wants to know, where is my shipment, they don't have to call you and ask. They can look it up themselves. When a customer wants to pay their bill, they don't necessarily have to send a check in through the mail and have you apply it to the right invoice. They can go online, they can use a credit card or ACH, and they can make their own payment on the invoice they intend. So they can do all kinds of self-service things and look up all kinds of information, about their history with your company from a customer perspective. And an employee can do the same. I can't tell you how many times I just needed to know a customer's address, a customer's phone number, something like that, when I was serving as a consultant. This gives them that kind of access without having to tie up a Business One license and without having to invest in that license. So interactive portals for their customers and employees, that's the whole idea. The native integration with SAP Business One really helps you to maximize your ERP investment, and it extends the functionality to basically any web browser. So it becomes a low-cost way to extend Business One and the information within the Business One database to people outside the organization. Maybe you have an entirely, outside sales organization. This is a great way to extend information to them. And again, all of your customers. So let's talk about some of the basics of the Vision 33 portal solutions. They obviously have a mobile-friendly, responsive design. So that it's a web application. It's a subscription-based licensing. Now that has great advantages because I only get what I need. I don't have to buy bundles. I can, take licenses up and take licenses down as I need them or don't need them, with much more flexibility. Well, let's be honest, with Business One, there's no flexibility to take licenses down. So this gives me great flexibility in that regard. And they're far less expensive in this SaaS-based pricing model than buying a Business One license. It's a hosted system, of course, on Amazon Web Services, as we do much of our cloud work. And it runs on SAP Business One versions 9.3 and or version 10.0, and it's SQL or HANA. Either one is fine. So those are some of the basics about, the technology requirements. So now just in basic, I want to just kind of go over some of the, what does it do and what's the value it delivers for the employee portal. And then we'll look at a little example of the employee portal. Then we'll do the same for the customer portal. So what does it do? Well, first of all, it gives the staff 24/7 self-service access to ERP data from any browser, right? So this takes a big load off of IT departments to make sure that, the remote connection for SAP Business One is working all the time. The self-service browser really does that directly for them in a much easier fashion for everybody to use. Secondly, it creates a very rich, insightful self-service web portal for every line of business. So it's easy to use is what we're trying to say here, and things are apparent in the design of how you do things. It's very easy to learn and come up to speed on. It transforms raw data into meaningful information for things like dashboards, reports, and insights. So it's not just data. You can have, standard reports that are published. You can have dashboards, KPIs, all kinds of things that are sort of a standard presentation, unique to each individual, right, for every employee. So if you work in the warehouse, your requirements would be different than if you're a salesman working in the field. And so that interface can be different for every employee that might use it. Somebody who's working in purchasing doesn't need to see the same things that somebody is working in sales. One's working with vendors, one's working with customers. So all of that flexibility is built in. And you can perform frequent sales tasks such as creating new opportunities, submitting orders, securing delivery signatures, all without logging in to Business One. So we've taken many of the best ideas through the years that our customers have had, and we've continued to kind of build this functionality into the employee portal, which makes it tremendously valued. So what value is that? Well, we reduce SAP Business One licensing costs. That's a significant benefit for certain. It enables data-driven decision-making. So people, aren't guessing, they're getting the real data and a real answer to make decisions and recommendations on. It boosts our operational efficiency for certain, and we just get more value out of our Business One investment in general. So let's take a look now at an example of how to create an order in the employee portal.
Vision33's employee portal with the sales user add-on enables your sales team to create quotes and orders through the portal for a particular customer and have that feed through to SAP Business One automatically. Let's take a look at how your salesperson would go through the portal to create an order for their customer. We're on the customer details page here now for the company Sarah's widgets. So we'll go ahead and select create order. And as you can see, it will populate the order pad where I can start to build out my sales order for this particular customer. I'll go through and either select an item code or an item name or do a quick key search. And we'll start to add some items to our order. We'll include another item here. And you can see here that it also lets me know what's in stock with regards to this particular item so that I know what inventory we have available to sell. Go ahead and change the quantity. You can also come in and include percent discounts. And of course, you can set percent discount maximums within SAP Business One. Scroll down and select from the billing and shipping, as well as the shipping method. There are some additional details here, such as requested dock and posting date. I'll include the PO details. And if there are any special instructions, of course, there is a place to include that with any relevant notes. We'll go ahead and refresh totals, which will look up any special pricing for this particular company. And I'll go ahead and submit order. So once that order has been submitted, I have an overview of that order summary. I can print a copy for my records. I can still make edits to this order as long as the status of the order is still open. But let's jump over to SAP Business One and take a look at that sales order come through. Here you can see that the sales order that I just created through the employee portal for Sarah's widgets has come through automatically to SAP Business One with all of the relevant order details, items, quantity, discounts, and so on. So when directly accessing SAP Business One, your sales team has full ability to place orders online through Employee Portal and have that feed back into Business One.
So as most of you know, I've been doing this with SAP Business One since 2003. If you can believe it, that's 20 years. And in the early years, we had a customer, I think we still have the same customer, but I won't tell you their name, who in the fall of the year, they made, fruit baskets and things of that nature. And the holidays were always their busy season. And during the month of November, I think they did about like 75, 80% of their business all in one month for the whole year. And if you went out there in the summertime, there would be like 5 or 6 people around. But if you went out there in November and December, there were hundreds. And they had all kinds of people that they had doing order entry, but only on a seasonal basis. It just wouldn't make sense on a seasonal basis, to have 200 Business One licenses when you only needed 5 or 6 most of the year. So a solution like this employee portal where you could create orders remotely, not even having to be in the office, would have been a fantastic thing to have way back then. But it took us a long time to come up with this kind of a powerful solution, and now we have it available. On the employee side, that would have been a great benefit. But now we have a solution called the customer portal also. And it's really about creating a differentiated, and but by that I mean differentiated, it's unique to every customer. So, yes, there is a sort of a standard package that comes out in the customer portal that this is what you get, but you can also really modify and create this unique to every customer. And especially every customer is only going to see their information, right? They're not going to see anybody else's information, just their own, and that's really helpful. So it filters all of that for you automatically. So, but it gives that customer a self-service experience so that they can do a lot of things for themselves. So what does it do in basic? Well, it creates this bespoke, that's what I mean by unique, one of a kind, business to business web portal for every customer in your business. And it gives customers, again, that 24/7 self-service access so that any time of the day or night, any place in the world. So think about the power of that. If you're doing global business, it won't matter what time of the day it is and what part of the world it is. Your customers will still have access to this information. And it's real-time account information from any browser. So it's not waiting to be posted from anything else. It's actually looking directly at your SAP Business One data right now, this very moment. So if you apply a payment to an invoice for them, let's say, and they want to validate that that was done, they can go look at it as soon as it occurs, right? So everything is in real time. One of the most important things that is that you can accept payments online. I remember when customers first started using this customer portal that their accounts payable became a lot easier to manage because now all of a sudden, within a very short period of time, about a third of all customers started making all their payments online. And that number grew until about 2/3 of customers were making all payments online. And so cash flow increased, all the collections responsibilities decreased. So it was a great boom to the company in that respect. So it enables customers to place orders and submit service calls and look up all kinds of other information. And again, there can be standard reports and things that are published. So it transforms raw system data into meaningful information for dashboards, reports, and insights for your customers. What value does it deliver? Well, it can significantly reduce the volume of inbound inquiries and related administrative tasks. So think about the enhancements to customer service because, I'm not going to wait on hold when I call. I'm not going to wait for the next operator when I call. I have instant access to the information that I want. Is there a little bit of a learning curve? Sure there is. But when I learn just a few basics, I can do so much for myself without having to have an impact on your staff when I call as a customer. And I'm much happier as a customer because I got what I needed very quickly. It increases, therefore, customer satisfaction and retention, right? Because it really enhances our customer service and enhances that customer experience. It accelerates purchasing cycles and it increases cash flow. It's just easier to place an order for most folks these days online than it is to have to talk to someone or send some other kind of a format to you where you have to create it for them. It also improves order accuracy. Anytime you take steps out of the process, and get, closer to the source of truth, the person placing the order, you get better information. And I should say that these orders that come in can be placed in draft status so that you can approve them before you're actually filing them permanently. You just get more value out of your Business One investment, right? When you have these customer portals available to your customers. So now I want to take a look at what it's like for a customer to place an order in SAP Business One utilizing the customer portal.
Vision33's customer portal for SAP Business One gives your B2B customers real-time web access to the important SAP Business One information they need to place orders online. By giving your clients secure access to the customer portal, they'll have real-time insight into your items available for purchase, any special pricing, as well as their payment options. Let me walk you through the customer experience by placing an order on customer portal. As you can see, we're on the home page of Customer Portal. And if we navigate to the top right-hand corner, you can see the Place an Order button. When we drill on the Place an Order button, that will automatically bring us to the order pad, where we can start to build out our order. The order pad includes important customer details, such as the customer name, their card code, as well as their currency. Down here, it's also bringing in their billing and shipping address, where you can also drop down to select multiple addresses if they have multiple on record. I'll go ahead and select their US office and come up and request a delivery date. We'll go ahead with next Friday, including any purchase order details and any special instructions. Now we can start to add some items to our order. We come down. You can either search by the item code or the item name, or do a quick key search like I'm doing here. Come through and add some items. Adjust the quantity. I'll come in and add a couple more items. And adjust the quantity here as well. And if we scroll down, you can select from the shipping methods. These are the shipping methods that you have configured in your SAP Business One system. So I'll go ahead and select UPS Ground. There's also a notes section where the customer can include any important details that they want to come through with the sales order. Now we'll go ahead and refresh totals. And this will look up any special pricing, including tax and shipping. Now all that's left is to submit the order. Once the order has been submitted, the customer will receive an order summary where they can review whenever they need to. They'll also have access to this order summary through a report that you can share with them through the customer portal. They can also come through and print the order if they need to include that as part of their records. Now let's take a look at SAP Business One to see what it looks like for you as an organization to receive that sales order in your system. Come through and select the sales order module here, and we'll go to the most recent. So you can see the sales order that was just placed in Customer Portal comes through automatically in SAP Business One under the appropriate business partner record with the requested delivery date, items, quantity, and shipping methods. So you can see just how easy it is for the customer to place orders online, view your items, and have easy access to reporting on their order history.
So I hope that has been, a good kind of introduction, right? A brief of what the employee portal and the customer portal can do for your business. There's much more available in each of them. And in about a month from now, we'll go back over some more detail on at least one of them and kind of give a broader tour. We still won't be able to go real deep, but today we just looked at placing an order. We can do things like placing a quote, looking at the dashboard, so much more, looking at some standard reports. And you noticed, of course, that when the customer went to place an order, it automatically brought up and filled in their information. They didn't have to pick that. It just filled it in for them. And all of the rules that you enforce in SAP Business One, like pricing and all of those things, those come forward for the customer. So it's completely integrated with Business One. That's where you really manage everything is in SAP Business One. There's a little add-on in SAP Business One where you set some defaults and other configurations for either one of the portals, but it makes it really easy to administrate these applications. And because we host them in Amazon, right, you don't need to do much yourself. It doesn't take long to put the basic portal in place and start using it. So a very good return on your investment. So you say, what's next, Carl? Well, I've got a couple of questions. Let me see if I can answer those for you. A customer can add new addresses. That's possible to make it happen. Yes. So if a customer is filling in something and wants to change the address, there is a way to make it possible for a customer to add a new address. And the employee portal, yes, it does have access to activities also. So like I said, there's so much more available in all of these portals than I was able to show you in our time frame today. And that's why, I want to keep you informed about what's out there. And how do you do that? Well, be sure you get a copy of the brochures. I hope you did that already today. They're in the chat. And so while we're chatting here a little bit, you can still get a hold of those. And so they'll give you a little more information. And then contact your customer relationship manager, your CRM, because they can really kind of walk you through the process, arrange for you to get a demo, a unique demo, and ask a lot more questions, go a lot deeper about either one of these. And they'll be able to get into all of the nitty gritty about pricing and the deployment process and all of those things for you. So, but I want you to know that I believe in these portals. They're extremely valuable, and they have really made life easy for most folks. And obviously the customer portal is definitely kind of a business to business, solution, right, for existing customers. So it's not a, kind of an e-commerce site where, anyone off the street can just kind of come in and place an order. That's not its intent. That's more of an e-commerce solution. If you're interested in that, we have solutions for that as well. And maybe you already have an e-commerce site. We can just integrate to Business One. But these are really designed for employees and customers, and for you to be able to add that kind of value to your workforce quickly and easily at a cost you can afford, integrated with SAP Business One 100%. So thank you so much for being here for Wednesday Web Chat, and I hope to see you again in a couple of weeks. We're going to go back talking about upgrades in a couple of weeks, but in specific, we're going to be talking about the manner in which you can migrate and update, right, SAP Business One. If you're running an older system on Microsoft SQL and you want to take advantage of all the new features and functions in SAP HANA, how do you move and upgrade from Microsoft SQL database to SAP HANA so you can get all of that value, and maybe even move from an on-premises system to an in-the-cloud system, all in one step? So tune in a couple of weeks. My special guest will be Jared Overturf, one of my long-term friends at SAP here at Vision33, with a lot of experience. We've known each other for at least 15 years, and he is a really valuable resource about this, having worked on many of these projects himself. So that will be the topic in a couple of weeks, and I look forward to seeing you. Although there's another couple of questions, so let me not forget those. One says, when a customer makes payments, does it store the payment information, or do they have to enter details each time? I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, but if for instance, you meant like if they were making it with a credit card, is their credit card information available for them to pick from a drop down? I'm not positive that I can answer that question today. That'd be a great one for Sarah in a month from now to answer, or again, connect with your CRM and they can find that out for you. They can make partial payments, absolutely, or multiple payments, one payment and spread it across invoices. Yes, it has that kind of functionality, definitely. Well, I'm sorry you can't see the brochures. If you drop me a line, it's just carl.lewis@vision33.com. I'll be happy to send you a copy of the brochures by email, okay? So carl.lewis, that's Carl with a C, Lewis, @vision33.com, and I'll be glad to send them to you. So yeah, a couple of you were asking about that, and I'm happy to send them to you. And also, just so you'll know, we always record these sessions of Wednesday Web Chat. And for anyone that was registered today, you didn't have to attend, although there were about 27 of you out there, which is an awesome group. We'll send you the recording of today's session, and we'll include all three of those PDFs so that you have the whole collection. So never fear, it's on its way, thanks to Vina Thomas, my coworker, who always makes that happen with such great proficiency. So again, I thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in another session of Wednesday Web Chat.